This video is sponsored by Cricut. Hit pause, put your phone down, pop the kettle, let's get cozy and do some autumn crafting. I have had this beautiful pad of autumnal paper sitting in my office, I think since July. So let's make an adorable paper wreath with it. Depending on which Cricut machine that you're using, you will need a light grip mat for this when you're working with paper. Okay, jumping into Design Space, I have just searched for leaf wreath and I want to do something with that beautiful paper packet. So I'm after finding this project. It's by Sue Marshall, Quick and Easy Fall Wreath. And what you can do is you can do edit a copy. So if you want to change up, let me see if I can click this. So these are the elements. I think these are perfect. So I'm just going to hit... Hang on, will I hit make it? Sometimes it sends it straight to the machine. So there is 5 colours. Apologies for that. The Bjorg just walked across the laptop. So I am currently trying to film with hyper kittens. They are settling down for their nap, but okay, this has sorted it straight into mats. If you were to click make or edit a copy, it would go onto your canvas and then you can resize them. I am just gonna go straight in. So I have 5 mats, which is 5 colored cardstock. So I'm going to pick my colored card, grab my light grip mat and get cutting. After popping the card onto the light grip mat, I inserted it into the machine. Also, this is the kitten's first time to witness the Cricut machine. They got to experience the sewing machine last week, and now they're on the Cricut machine. For this project, your phone or your laptop may prompt you to insert a scoring wheel or a scoring stylus because it's going to score in leaf marks onto the piece of paper. You can skip this step if you just want to cut out the shape of the leaves and then you can fold the leaves yourself. I don't have a scoring wheel, but I was able to edit the tools and I was able to insert a scoring stylus, which I found in my Cricut stash. So scoring tools are really handy when you're doing card making. Once all of my leaf pieces were cut, I cut out a piece of cardboard in a circular shape. I used a small dinner plate as a guide to trace it out, and I just cut it out with some scissors. So then I grabbed my glue gun and I just started sticking on the leaves, mixing up the different patterns just to find something that looked nice. A little tip is some of the leaves I didn't stick them, I stuck them at an awkward angle. So try and stick them, straight up facing outwards. So if you stick one at 12 o'clock, have a point in 12 o'clock. If you stick one at 6 o'clock, have a point in out 6 o'clock. It just gives a nicer visual feel. Some of them I stuck on in random ways and I was like, no, this is not cute. So just a little tip. Another thing that you could do to tweak this project is if you have a sewing machine, or you could just use a piece of string and hot glue, you could stitch the leaves together and make a garland. So if you want to stick it on your mantelpiece, I'm actually giving this little wreath to my niece for a bedroom. If you saw earlier in the year, I was doing a few bits and I know that she'll really like this. Another option is doing a garland. Follow the same steps, but then use a piece of string, ribbon, or stitch them together on your machine. let's have a look in the random wood stash. Now, I do have this beautiful piece of wood right here. I actually used, remember I used it in the wedding video. I ended up turning it into a stool, so I have another piece of this left. The only thing is, I want to make a sign, but this piece of wood seems, well, it seems quite heavy and it seems quite big. I do have this piece of wood, which doesn't seem as heavy. What was actually this used for? I must have randomly found it because there's drill holes in it. Then I just have some other little pieces of wood. I have this piece. Then I have random MDF. I have this white piece. So I want to make a really pretty autumn sign. I am drawn to this. The only thing, I suppose I could cut it. I could cut this. That's an option. I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment. In last month's video with the Cricut Joy, I learned how to make stickers, which I am so excited about. Now, I have some of this left over. This is printable iron-on. Now, it does say for light fabrics. I'm going to see if I can iron it onto the wood. If I can't iron it on, I will seal it with some clear varnish, or I'll treat it like decoupage. So either way, I think it might work. What I want to do is, I want to print off some, you know, maybe some pumpkins, Halloween things. I love the printable stuff because you get such a lovely dimension and depth compared to vinyl. So I think I'll use both vinyl and printable. So I'll print stuff onto this, transfer it onto a piece of wood, and then a lovely piece of vinyl. I think I'm going to go with an Irish word. I think I'm going to do Ihe Hauna, which means Halloween in Irish. Or you could do, I can't remember the Irish name for autumn, begins with an F. But yeah, I think I might do Ihe Hauna with lovely leaves and pumpkins going all around this piece of wood. So yeah, let's try and do something fun with this. Okay, open up a brand new canvas, and I have typed in the word autumn into images because I'm going to search for some pretty autumn images. On the left hand side, you'll see I've ticked the box that says print then cut. If you would like to, like maybe you want to just do like some vinyl projects, you can click cut only. Then you have the option of draw only, print then cut, cut and draw. But I want to get pretty images that are printable. As you can see, there's loads of beautiful autumn images. So you can make these into stickers, or you can do what I'm doing and you can use the printable iron-on, and you could stick this onto fabric. Like you could make a really cute autumnal t-shirt, like that logo there with the little autumn garden wagon. How cute would that be on, you know, a t-shirt or a tote bag for autumn? I've already had a little look. I'm going to scroll up here. It says my stuff and then bookmarked. I'm going to click bookmarked, and here are the images. Oh wow, I've got 17 images. I was just going around saving my favorites. So I'm going to select the ones that I want, and then I will add to canvas, and I can actually, this is going to be hard because I like them all. But sometimes when you, oh how cute is he? Sometimes when you stick them onto the canvas, you can weed out the ones that you don't want, because I do have a lot here. Okay, I like the little teapot. So I'm going to add them to canvas, and then I'll resize each of them, and kind of, I need to measure as well my piece of wood so that I know what I'm working with. Okay, I've taken a few minutes just to resize the items at the bottom just to see. So the piece of wood that I have is roughly 50 centimeters wide. So I needed to just make sure that these two sets of, not stickers, but what I'm going to print and then cut on the machine will fit. I actually highlighted them into two groups and I clicked attach. You can also detach and resize them, so it just means that they can all move around together. So I have these two pieces I'm hoping they're going to print off on the same sheet as well, which I can adjust in settings. So for the font for this, so Ihe Hauna, that means Halloween in Irish. The font is Bay Amo. You can go through all of the fonts. So there's System, Recent, then you've got your Cricut ones. And I love that. I noticed, I think this might be new on top, but you can search decorative font, vintage, stencil, and so on. So you can have fun. I do pay for a Cricut Access monthly subscription. So I do have access to other fonts, but you can also upload your own font as well. You can also upload your own designs. So if you draw or you're an illustrator, you can upload these. There's an upload button in the left-hand corner down the bottom. Okay. Another thing as well, so these ones, when you click on them, it says operation type print then cut. For the Ihe Hauna sign, that is going to be a basic cut because that's going to be on vinyl. So let me turn on my machine. So as you can see, I have 3 mats for this. So this has sorted out my design onto the A4 piece of paper because the size of the printable iron-on sheet is A4. So it automatically did that for me, which is great. So I have 2 pages that I need to cut. And then the third one is just a basic cut, and that is for the vinyl to say Ihe Hauna. So I'm going to have 3 mats and 2 sheets of the printable iron-on paper, and then I need to just root out. I actually need to double check and see if I have some black vinyl. So when I hit continue, it's going to send this to my printer, and then I will stick that onto the mat for the Cricut machine to cut it. For this particular project, you will need an inkjet printer. Some people have said that they've used LaserJet and it has been fine. I have a really basic €50 printer and it's perfect for this. For anybody who is new, you don't need a printer for most of your Cricut projects. In fact, you only need it if you're making stickers. If you're new to Cricut, if you're doing vinyl, cutting card, you do not need that. These sheets of paper are slightly different to other iron-on materials. If you've seen any of my previous projects where I've used the iron-on vinyl, you will see that I placed the vinyl face down onto the mat. The machine cut it, I weeded off the excess, placed it onto the fabric and used my heat press to stick it on. This is slightly different because this is a different material. So my printable print, then the machine will cut the design out. I will weed off the excess material and I won't use a transfer tape or anything because this material is quite delicate. I will lift the design onto the material and then I will iron it on. So you're not going to use transfer tape like you would if you're doing vinyl because your design, your material, it's too delicate. So if you have the Easy Press 2 that I have, you can use the app to get heat settings for different materials. So if you were to put this onto cotton or, a thicker fabric tote bag, it would give you the heat settings. I went rogue and I had to kind of experiment with the heat settings for wood. And obviously there's different types of wood as well. Normally you would preheat a surface so that it will be warm, but I didn't want to dry out the oils in the wood and have a really dry piece of wood. So what I did was I arranged all of the design pieces. In the packet you will get this piece of paper. Feels like baking paper actually, and I placed it on top of the design, obviously because I didn't want it to melt into my Easy Press, and then I gave it 15 seconds and then I checked it. Main reason to not leave it on for too long was because I didn't want to scorch the wood. So by doing it in 15-second intervals, it worked and it stuck. And I love how it gives almost like a painted on look. Something you could do, and I think I might, is get some light grey sandpaper and sand the design ever so lightly. Make sure it's really stuck on though. And by giving it a little sanding, it's like when you do decoupage, it kind of makes it more ingrained in the wood and a bit more artsy. If you plan on having this in a conservatory or in a porch somewhere where there is moisture, I would seal this with some clear varnish suitable for outdoor use. I don't know if my mic is going to pick up the purrs. We had a moment of calm. Bjog is asleep in the basket on my office desk. Bon heard me moving, so he's chilling. Yeah. You got a kiss? Give me kisses. I swear every video that they're in, they get a bit bigger. Do you know what? Bon seems to be getting much bigger, much quicker. But Bjog, like, she must have been the little one in the litter, so she's living up to her name with being called Bjog. But she's like rubber. If Bon tries to like eat some of her food, she growls at him. So, you know when one cat gets fatter than the other, they normally say it's because one is eating all the food. But Bjog she can fight with you. I've seen that, yeah. Bon agrees. Anyway, enough cat chats. I have a Cricut playlist, so I pulled together all of the videos from the past kind of year, more than a year, of Cricut projects. So if you have, do you wanna go? Okay, go get your sister. If you have just gotten a machine, or you're thinking about getting a machine, or you know somebody who is interested in a machine, isn't too sure maybe what they can make, what they want to make, that playlist of videos, there's a couple of projects in each video, so hopefully you get some inspiration from it. I also have a video from last month with the new Cricut Joy Extra, which I know a couple of my friends, when they saw I had the Cricut Joy Extra, they messaged me and they were like, girl, I need more details on that machine. So I think the Cricut Joy Extra will be on a lot of Christmas wish lists this year. Also, anyone watching who isn't maybe a Cricut person, but you just like watching the craft videos, if you know somebody that has a Cricut and you're thinking of maybe getting them something for Christmas, us crafters, we love simple things like new mats. I was just, one of my light grip mats, I'm like, not that it kills me to spend money on those things, but I like when I get them things as presents, because it means I can then spend my money on fun stuff, like printable vinyl or different coloured vinyls. So I think a really nice present, if you are thinking of that, is if you got your crafty friend some mats, even some new little tools. Ask them if they don't have, like, not the little scraper tool, but you can get I think it's a pack of little tools, things like that. Or even if they need a new blade for their machine. I recently bought just replacement fine point blades for my maker. So those little things, us creative crafty people appreciate them, because they're the things that we don't want to buy ourselves, because we want to spend our money on the fun crafty stuff. But you get the drift, you get what I'm saying. Just giving you some ideas. If you are watching, maybe you have a family member who's into Cricut, or yeah. And if you do have someone who's into Cricut, send them on this video and the playlist. Hopefully they get some inspiration. Let me know what autumn crafting you have been getting up to. I will be doing some dried flower wreaths, probably in the next Sunday video. Let me think when this is going up. Yes, I do have plans to do some dried flower wreaths, which you will see in the next video. And I'll leave the playlist link somewhere up here at the end of the video if you want to check out the other Cricut videos. And I will see you in the next video.